Welcome to the Ledger and the Leader here at BBH CSD. I'm Superintendent Jeff Harrison.
And I'm Treasurer Craig Yaniglos. This is where transparency meets teamwork.
We're giving you a front row seat to the decisions, dollars, and directions that help shape your school district.
No fluff, just real conversations straight from your district leadership.
Well, Craig, here we are. What is this? Is this episode 24 yet?
24? No, I think it's 6.
Oh, 6. Okay. All right. Maybe it just feels like 24 from time to time. There's been a lot going on in the school district since our last Ledger and the Leader, so we're trying to get caught up. You know, in the school district, once we get past the holidays, we're in the 26-27 school year already in our mind and operationally. So kind of what's going on in the world of school finance? How about we start there today?
There's a lot of stuff always going on in the world of school finance. As you know from all the property tax reform that went on, there are a lot of school districts currently right now talking about looking at income taxes. As some of our state legislators have said that we should look at income taxes to help fund our schools as our diversification methods that we have available.
And whoa, that diversification is what? Property tax, income tax, maybe sales tax, I don't know, maybe putting some car chargers out in the parking lot and charge a monthly fee, maybe?
We could probably use cans where people could just donate money to.
Okay.
I guess maybe that would work. I'm not sure. But there's a number of school districts right now that are local school districts, Northeast Ohio, that are considering this option. So last week I attended a professional development workshop. A lot of schools are asking their bond counsel to look at some of these options. Of what's available, so learn some new things because most school districts don't have an income tax, school district income tax.
There's probably a reason for that, right? I mean, why hasn't income tax been very popular in the past? Why does this seem like a new thing, even though it's not a new thing?
Well, there's different kinds of income tax, school district income taxes. So there's 2 different types. I don't think that people want that in their communities, so it historically fails. But there are several throughout the state that have passed these, and you can also do the same thing where you can pass it for a period of time or you can pass it as a continuing piece as well. But there's 2 different types. You can do a traditional income tax, a school district income tax, that would be for all of the residents that live in the school district, and that would affect essentially everyone. So that's going to affect all your W-2, your working employees, as well as your retired and their pensions or their Social Security. That would all get taxed. However, there is the earned income option, which a lot of school districts are looking at, and the earned income is just for people who are actually working. So those are your W-2 people primarily. So the downside of that is it's a smaller pool of people because you don't have your retired population, and then in many cases you don't have the ultra rich because they have other mechanisms that they use to evade paying taxes.
Right. So that earned income tax on the surface really is targeted to helping our seniors, and those are on fixed income or retired. But then we also know that there's different ways throughout the taxing system that we have here in Ohio and the United States that there are maybe some ways to get around that as well, if you have the means to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And like we said, income tax or school district income tax is not new. It has been tried in the past. There are some school districts in our area that have small ones, but I'm telling you, every school district I hear right now that's going on the ballot in November, they're all income tax. It's going to be very interesting to see how our communities respond to that. And as a disclaimer, Brecksville Broadview Heights City School District is not on the ballot in November.
Correct.
We are not proposing an income tax. We are simply having this conversation because that's what's going on within the realm of public schools right now as we adjust to what we're being given from the state level.
Yeah, and I think, the big kudos to us, I guess, is the fact that we've continued to stretch our dollars as effectively as we can, which has put us in a good place where we are right now, where we're not in a high need. It's coming, as we've talked about, but we're not sitting in this desperate situation because there are some schools that have got renewal levies and different things that they have to get these things passed in one way or another.
Right.
So they've got to figure out a solution quickly. So we, at least from our district perspective, are in a good financial spot where we can kind of take a step back, see and analyze what's going on in the area with all the property tax reform that they've done, to see if these other ones are successful. In the meantime, I also found out that we can get an analysis done by the Department of Taxation so we can see what that would even look like for our community. Right. My gut instinct says that we're not going to be the best community for a school district income tax, but we can at least get that analysis to look at what a traditional one would bring in by quarter percents. We can look at an earned income one, as well as then we can compare that to millage rates. So we can look at all those options.
If anything, it's just educating not only our Board of Education, ourselves, and our community. And you're right, Brecksville-Broadview Heights City Schools for years have done things in a way that have set us up to be stable at the moment. And that goes all the way back to passing continuous levies instead of emergency or renewal type of situation. Also, even as painful as it was at the time, consolidating 3 elementaries and an intermediate school into one large building has helped the district. So maybe I think we need to give some kudos to our Board of Education currently and past, as well as people who sat in our seats over the years that made some decisions that at the time were probably pretty difficult, but have allowed us to weather this storm. But I think it's very important. It's not a question of if, it's when. We'll have to go back to our community for further support or continued support or additional support. It's just the way the game is played. And I don't mean to lessen it by calling it a game, but it's just the rules that we have to play by in our funding structure here in the state of Ohio.
Correct. And I mean, we've got obviously, the next election will be coming up before we know it. We've got a primary in May, and then we've got a general election in November. And there's no foreseeable relief right now for school funding for public schools in Ohio, unfortunately. And I shared last night at the board meeting that the state is taking away some of our money as of recent, which is nice.
This is a great example of things that happen that people don't realize. So has something to do with science of reading, right? That science of reading training that was mandated by the state. Not that we weren't already on that train, right? As a school district, I consider us to be kind of cutting edge and ahead of the curve, and we were already doing a lot of that training, but then all of a sudden the state said everyone, including myself as superintendent, had to do the training. And the state said, but we're going to help you out. We're going to pay a stipend. Correct?
Yes.
To teachers who did that training. So
correct. Not administrators, though.
Nope, I didn't get a
and I got a pass, which was nice.
Yeah.
I at least was exempt.
I guess it's not important to read in the treasurer's office. Just calculate.
Thank goodness I know how to read. But anyways, yes. So there's 2 parts of it really that we talk about the unfunded part. So we did have to adopt a new curriculum. They did give us some money for that. Did it cover the total cost of that? No. Did it cover a third of the cost? Barely. So we had a huge expense to our district and our taxpayers to adopt a new curriculum. But yes, they said they were going to fund the stipends. Well, then the question became, and we got further clarification, the question became, well, who's going to pay the Medicare on that stipend? Who's going to pay the retirement on that stipend? And it was determined, the state came forward and said, we will pay it.
Wow.
So that was great. We all thought that was wonderful. And this all happened last year. And then what ended up happening was we got a communication from DEW that apparently they exceeded the amount that was appropriated and available, and so now they're just going to take some of it back.
Yeah. Not even really asking us.
No.
They just informed us that in our future payments from the state this is going to be deducted.
Correct.
And how much are they going to be deducting?
So it looks like for us it's about $30,000.
Okay.
And again, is that like the end of the world of what it is in terms of our budget? No. But it's still less money than we were anticipating because no one assumed that they were going to be clawing back some of these funds that they publicly said that they were out there supporting. So it's just always a fun time sometime in school finance with how they want us to adapt.
It comes back to some of the legislation that is written sometimes feels as though the unintended consequences aren't always fully realized. And I understand that's part of the process, right? But another example of that, when we get off of school finance a little bit and start talking about some of the legislation that was passed, if you remember or you've been tuned into our district, we used to have a kindergarten enrollment date of September 30th. You had to be 5 by September 30th. Well, over the years, kindergarten has increased in its rigor, has increased in its requirements and its standards, and our kindergarten teachers really felt as though we were at a disadvantage with some of those younger kindergarten students. And all the districts around us had moved to August 1st because at that point in time, the state allowed you either pick September 30th or August 1st. We had been September 30th. Last year, we moved to August 1st. Well, in this last cycle of legislation, the state thought, there's a lot of confusion around the enrollment date of kindergarten across the state of Ohio. We are going to simplify it. It's going to be the first day of instruction, which on the surface and on paper seems perfect. First day of school, you got to be 5 by the first day of school. Problem is every school district starts on a different day. And then, is it the first day of school for grades 1 through 12, or is it first day of school for kindergarten? Because ever since COVID especially, a lot of school districts do phase in for kindergarten. It's their first time in school, got to teach them the rules, the systems, and we'll start the letters A through M on the first day, and then, the second part of the alphabet on the second day. So which day is actually the first day of instruction? The legislation doesn't really define that for us. So we are opening kindergarten registration on March 1st this year, meaning families that are anticipating enrolling for next year can start enrolling on and after March 1st. However, before March 1st, we have to determine with our legal team as well as our administrative team, well, what is that first day of instruction and what does it mean? We don't have that clarity from the state yet. We're asking for it, have not gotten it yet. So in an effort to make kindergarten registration enrollment date simpler, has now muddied the water. And on the surface, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but what if my last name is Smith and I start the second day of phase-in and I'm not 5 yet, or or it affects me in one way, shape, or form, whereas if my last name was Andrews, maybe I take advantage of it. So it's just,
I know.
It's difficult. We'll get through it. We'll make adjustments, but we are yet to be determined what that first day of instruction is going to be.
Well, in some schools, my previous school district didn't even start kindergarten phase-in until a week after the other kids started.
Correct.
So it depends on when you do the phase-in.
Right.
So it really, truly will vary by county, by school district, throughout the entire state of Ohio. And yes, school districts do typically plan their calendars a couple of years in advance, but I guess now we're gonna have to add a little line that says first day of kindergarten, so that parents at least know from our calendar, because I don't think from our calendar we currently have, I don't think it necessarily says what the first day of kindergarten is
No,
going
it says
to be.
first day of instruction, and what that means is grades 1 through 12.
Right.
Because kindergarten's on a different type of schedule, just trying to help our young ones out. So just more fun there, trying to figure it out. A little bit more local control has been clawed back by the state and aren't allowing our local boards of education to make those determinations, which ultimately we're the ones that have to implement it. It would just be nice to allow us to continue to have that local control.
Yeah, no, I agree. We did talk about that in other podcasts about, the ability of local control. That was one of the other things we did talk about, was some of the county, the county budget commissions are far more involved. They're talking about I guess I should give you the heads up because you may not know this yet, but county budget commissions are having them come in with board presidents, superintendents, and treasurers to do financial forecasts to the county budget commissions. Now, do I think that'll happen right now in Cuyahoga County? No, but that is actually going around right now, where you are having to defend all of the money that you have in front of basically a panel of people, the county auditor as well as the budget commissions, and that is going to be a very interesting time to see that is, they're going to be determining whether or not you can levy that much money that was already voter approved, by the way.
Somewhat familiar with it, because in Medina County, they're kind of doing that already. We also had a sales tax in Medina County where we had to present to a commission what we were using those funds for. But it is interesting, right? And we're going to go and present this to a group of people who are probably really good at their jobs, but have little to no true understanding of school finance and how we budget, how the cycles run, and all of that. So I'm not trying to speak poorly of them, but I'm going to be presenting to someone who doesn't live it every single day. So I look forward to it because it gives us an opportunity to continue to educate people on school finance, because I'm sure they're not tuning into the Ledger and Leader right now.
They should.
They should subscribe.
Maybe,
right? So, but last night we had a Board of Education meeting, and we had a pretty exciting thing that we approved related to our campus master plan. And you may want to kick this off for us a little bit about Hilton Driveway?
Sure. No, especially because it was the money side of this made me very excited. I was a little depressed that the bid opening was while I was in the middle of the ocean.
It was thrilling, by the way. That was my first bid opening that I attended in person. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So you had all those contractors sitting around the room, and they wouldn't talk to each other.
Nope.
Nor did they look at each other. So I kind of walk in, and Brian Koss and his administrative assistant, they're starting to rip open these envelopes. So maybe talk about that a little bit, how that works.
So coming from a much smaller district that was in fiscal emergency, I didn't have this opportunity. So since I've been here, I've done many of them, and it is a fascinating experience. So they truly, when you're doing, sealed competitive bids, they have to come in. They get, as soon as they come into the door, whether it's door, mail, courier, whatever, however they get here, they're time stamped, they're marked. We keep all that information. We scan in folders for our files for audit, and Some of them come in early and they stay sealed until that day. Some of them come in right then and there, right before the deadline, if they're planning to stay and watch the whole event. And I called it an event just now. But they're going to be sitting around the table in the room. And you get a chance to, open them up, and you have to read all the information, and people are frantically writing down numbers. Sometimes afterwards they want to get copies of it or see different, you scan the stuff and you can send it all out. But we basically do a bid tabulation. We make sure that they've met all the compliance documents, at least up front, with some of the things that we've required. And we do read everything aloud, and then they all look at the different things that are on there. So we will open those up, tabulate all the bids, and then we typically pick the lowest bid. But there is some vetting process that happens afterwards.
Yeah.
So we went out to bid for this project for $2.49 million, so almost $2.5 million, what we expected to the project to cost. And the good news was, and we had a pretty big spread, so we were able to, the lowest bid was $2,065,000.
Yeah, awesome. So we refer to that as bid day savings. And this whole bid process is to protect our community and our school district, to make sure that we're getting the best possible price out there. Also making sure it's on the up and up, that there aren't, under the table deals happening and things like that. So it's all out in the public. It's all to be observed. Just being there, it was just ironic that, the contractors, I think they even were avoiding eye contact with one another. And you could see them frantically writing and then showing it to their partner. And so yeah, it was exciting. And we're looking forward to getting this driveway done. We've been talking about it for a while.
A long time.
We've been excited about it. We want to alleviate the traffic on Mill Road. We want to just have a better flow of traffic on our campus. We're actually part of this driveway. There will be a roundabout on campus. So we joke about it's going to be an educational opportunity for our students to continue to navigate roundabouts. But really, it's about safety and traffic flow across district.
The first roundabout in Brecksville and Broadview Heights.
It is.
Because we're trendsetters.
Yes, I guess we are. So hopefully everything goes as planned. The substantial completion date of this is August 1st. So by all means, we hope to have this open and operational before the start of the 26-27 school year.
It's going to be a very busy summer here on campus.
Yeah, we have new turf going in this summer, possibly a new scoreboard in the stadium going this summer. We have all kinds of asphalt projects.
Tennis courts getting fixed
because they have premature cracking on those. So this campus in particular, there's always a lot of stuff going on in a district during the summer, but on this campus in particular, it's going to be a busy place.
It is. And I do also think, as you talked about the price, the part about getting the spread of this bid was pretty substantial. So our top bid was at $2.6 million.
Yeah.
So while we saved $400,000, which is great, we did have some contractors that were over the bid price too of what they were doing. So it does go to show that how the process works, and that we have some extra savings to spend other ways and other projects that we have going on, because our list seems to always be growing.
Right, and we're always thinking about bid day savings, and we're hoping for some bid day savings because we always have projects that need to be done. So the opportunity to maximize those dollars is what we're always looking for.
Yep.
So, well, great. Well, Craig, we're going to take a quick break because we have some outstanding students from BBHHS coming to join us, talking about an exciting thing that they're doing that has become a tradition at Brecksville Broadview Heights High School. So how about we take a quick break, and when we return, we'll have some students from the high school.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, here we are. We're back, a ledger and leader, and now we have three outstanding individuals. Definitely are making the table here much younger than when it's just you and I, Mr. Yaniglos.
I'm still younger than you, though.
That is true. That is true.
But they are still bringing the average down.
They bring the average down big time. You should calculate that for us.
Okay, I'll work on it.
We have three juniors from Brecksville Broadview Heights High School. We had the fortunate opportunity last night to hear them present at the Board of Education about a great initiative that they're participating in that has become a tradition at Brecksville Broadview Heights High School. So I guess, Maddie, since you're sitting directly to my right, I'll start with you. How about you introduce yourself? And I'll throw in one little question for you. What's the best thing you like about Brecksville Broadview Heights City School District?
Well, I'm Madison Lupica, and I think the best thing I like about the district is just that, I don't know, we have kind of a sense of community around here, and kind of everyone knows everyone. So I just like that.
I like it.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Next.
All right. So my name's Billy Henning, and one of my favorite things about the community is how much activity there is for our students to participate in while growing up, to find their passion and what they love to do. it's a great community.
Awesome. Thank you, Billy.
Yeah, my name is Alexa Zetts, and I would also have to say my favorite thing about the district is the community and how much everyone helps each other, and especially during this campaign as well, just the support from teachers and students has been like really good.
Awesome. So let's get to the cliffhanger. You mentioned this campaign. So why are you guys here? What's the campaign? What are you guys up to the next couple of weeks?
So we are Brecksville's team leaders for Team Horizon, which is a part of Blood Cancer United. So Blood Cancer United is an organization formerly known as the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and they have a program called the Student Visionaries of the Year program. And in that program, teams from across the Cleveland area compete against one another to see who can raise the most money for Blood Cancer United.
Awesome. Now, Brecksville Broadview Heights High School has been doing it for a few years, I believe, correct?
Yeah, I think around 14, I think.
Okay. Since 14 or 14 years?
14 years.
Okay. So
I don't know if that's right, though, for sure.
last night at the board meeting, you talked about a pretty ambitious goal. So what is your goal in this campaign?
So our goal is to raise $75,000 towards the research of blood cancer cures.
So let me get this straight, Billy. You, as a team of 3, but I think there's more people involved, and you can explain that, but you want to raise $75,000. In what amount of time are we talking here?
7 weeks.
7 weeks, 75,000. Mr. Yaniglos, can you do some quick calculations for me on that? I mean, what's our average weekly fundraising goal going to be? I'm not going to do that to you.
$10,000 a week, 7 weeks.
I thought it was pretty easy, so
right.
so I threw it over there for you. So 7 weeks, $75,000, and the 3 of you are going to raise all that money by yourselves?
Not by ourselves.
Okay.
We have
Tell us more.
we have an excellent team up at the high school with about 60 students that are actually from Brecksville, but we also have students from other school districts joining our team to help us out. So we're getting a farther reach than just our community here at Brecksville Broadview Heights.
So I saw something. So I live in Nordonia, and I think that is that a separate team, or are they a part of our team?
Nordonia has a separate team, and at the end of the campaign, the 7 weeks, we will probably face off against them at our grand finale event and see which team raised more money.
Nice.
So you guys are kind of
who
like
am I
the-
supposed to root for?
Well, it's
I
obvious.
live in Nordonia. I work in BBH.
Well, that's not even a question.
It's not even a question.
Not even a question. So,
We're gonna
so
win.
you guys are like the team captains then. If we're talking about athletics, you're the team captains. It seems like we have open enrollment and we're recruiting people to be part of our team. But so what does the team do, and how do you guys go about raising $75,000?
Well, with our 60 team members, they all are required to write letters and emails to at least 50 people. So that is the majority of where the money comes from.
Okay.
But then the 3 of us also meet with different businesses around our community, asking them if they would sponsor us. So currently we have around 5 sponsors, but we're always looking for more people to speak with. And then anything else you guys want to add?
Yeah, in addition to the sponsorships and then the personal asks, we also do fundraisers around the community.
Okay.
So one is actually coming up tomorrow. It's our student pickleball tournament. So that's going to be at the Blossom Field House.
Okay.
And then we have some other ones coming up, such as the Cheers to a Cure Brew Night at Wild Eagle on Wednesday, January 28th. And then an adult pickleball tournament. Where did that go?
February 13th, also on a Friday,
Yeah.
Okay.
at the Blossom Field House as well.
Yeah, and then also a babysitting night, February 14th, at my dance studio, Creative Movement Center.
Okay. February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Valentine's
right?
Day. It's a good night to be having
That's right.
babysitters.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's what we were thinking.
They're in high demand.
Yes.
High demand. So how about you talked about you already have a couple of sponsors. So why don't we give a little shout out to those sponsors? Who are some people and who are sponsors? Like, is it small companies, big companies? And how would somebody, if they want to become a sponsor, get in touch with you, or how would that process work?
So far we have about 5, which is, we have a few local companies. We have Independence Construction, Excavation, DiGeronimo companies.
Who are great supporters of our school district.
Yes.
That's awesome.
We have the Ganley companies.
Are I'm sure it's still new. They're still rolling in, but
Yeah.
I asked you to mention those because it's nice to see that some of these companies and individuals, and some of them are alum, continue to support our school district.
Yeah.
Not only to support us through like athletics and music boosters and things like that, but they're even taking this opportunity because it's not like you're raising $75,000 that's going to go to the school district.
No.
So let's talk a little bit about this $75,000. What is it being raised for, and how's it going to be used?
So Blood Cancer United is founded upon 3 pillars. One is patient support,
Okay.
one is research, and one is policy and advocacy. So each team gets to choose which pillar they want their money to go to, and we chose the pillar of research. So all of our money raised will go to doctors and scientists and researchers who are trying to find cures, come up with new medicines and treatments for blood cancers.
Awesome. Awesome. And that's a total team decision. You guys got to pick that?
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. I think it was very interesting last night that it kind of hit close to home. I think you learned last night that we actually have a board member that is affected by this and was very complimentary of the job that you guys are doing and how the fundraising activities you do and the money that you raise does affect people in our community, even here in Brecksville, Broadview Heights.
And especially because it was geared more towards the research, right?
Right.
So a lot of that was specifically geared towards the research that develops pills and medications and whatnot to help people with certain blood cancers.
So if I'm listening to the Ledger and Leader and I'm hearing this and I want to get involved, I heard about your events. I could help in doing that way. But what if I'm someone who wants to donate to this? How would somebody go about donating towards your goal? What are ways that they could do that?
You guys can check out our Instagram. We have an Instagram and a Facebook, and so our fundraising page will be linked on there, so anyone can donate anytime. And that'll be open starting tomorrow, and right in the morning, and it'll end March 14th. And then if you want to contact us directly, we have our email in our Instagram, which is LLS Team Horizon. So
Okay.
you can email us with any questions or anything you want to ask us.
And I know as a school district, we will be assisting and helping. I know Mr. Jacob puts it all in his newsletters. The other buildings will be doing it. The district, we will push it out as well, just to make sure that there's awareness out there. I mean, we can't thank you guys enough for you taking this on. It's no small feat. It is quite the goal, ambitious goal, but also, I believe, attainable goal. And for us as a school district, we love to see our students flourish and find a passion and a drive. And through this whole process, you're putting all the skills you've learned for the past, 10, 11, 12 years you've been in our school district, from teamwork to communication to, all of those things that we want our students to grasp. It's on full display here. So I just want to commend you guys for taking a risk and putting yourselves out there, learning the sales technique and the fundraising that'll pay off many years down the road. So with that, anything else you want to share that we haven't been able to kind of bring up that is a burning question for you? Before I get to the $1 million question for you here in a second, I have a $1 million question coming.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
I'll ask a question though.
Please do.
Because so I've been here for 6 years, and every single year I've watched some of the presentations of the different groups that have come through, and every year we have surpassed the goal. So are we confident we're going to meet the goal, and are we confident we're going to surpass the goal? And I guess now I have to ask, are we confident we're going to beat Nordonia then? Is that what's going to happen?
So since it's a competition, we are not allowed to know the other team's goals yet. So we have no idea what the other teams are raising or what they're trying to raise.
Okay.
So we kind of just have to focus on our goal. And I know in past years, Brecksville, we won 2 years ago and we raised $100,000. And last year we had 2 teams, and one team raised around $50,000, one team raised around $30,000. So we came up with our goal because we figured that since we're back into one team and not 2 separate teams, those 2 funds would probably come around to $75,000, $80,000.
awesome.
And we just wanted to set that as our baseline. But if we do reach our goal, we're always willing to move it up.
Awesome. Well, we hope you do exceed that. We'll do everything we can to help you guys out. To the $1 million question I'm going to ask, though, and Alexa, I'll start with you.
Okay.
Who is your favorite teacher of all time?
All time.
That's all.
All
From
that kindergarten all the way up.
All the way up.
Oh, wow.
So-
There's so many.
I know. We are so fortunate. That's why I love asking this question because I see the wheels turning, and I know they're gonna, after they leave, they'll think of 3 other teachers they'd like to say. But who comes to mind when you're on the spot under the hot lights here? Favorite teacher of all time? She's probably thinking of what grade she has in one of her classes right now.
I know mine.
Billy and Maddie are like, I'm so glad he didn't ask me first.
I got mine if you can't think of
Oh,
one.
Maddie's.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay,
helping
go.
out. All right, Maddie.
It was my first grade teacher, Miss Serlejay.
Oh, very nice.
Yes, I loved her.
That was you had her for first grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's now in 5th grade.
Yeah.
So she's slowly getting all the way through,
Yeah.
like you. You've
She was trying to
surpassed
catch
her.
up to you.
Yeah, you're a junior now. She's now in 5th grade. No, yeah, she's an outstanding teacher.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's
you're her favorite student of all time, and she
Maybe.
just wants to follow.
Maybe. I still visit her sometimes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
All right. Who's
All
going
right,
next?
Who's next?
Do you have yours?
No.
Oh, they work
She's
so
the
well
indecisive
together.
one. She's indecisive.
She might ask me, can I have 2?
Yeah, I was
Billy,
gonna
you
ask the same thing actually.
That's usually what happens too. See, when I interview teachers for a job here in Brecksville Heights, and they're coming to us from various places, I always ask them, who is your favorite teacher of all time? Because then usually what I do is I turn around and say, you know what, now it's your opportunity to be that teacher for someone else. So just, I'm always fascinated to hear from our students, because we're here to serve you every single day, of who your favorite teacher. It doesn't mean that person's your only favorite. You've had many, and as you make your way through our school district, you're going to be impacted by many awesome teachers. So this is just one that comes to mind. So Billy, you got one yet? I tried to buy you some time.
One who actually spoke at the board meeting last
Oh.
night, Miss Crozen,
Okay.
That's a good one.
probably my favorite teacher.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, Billy, but they did a presentation last night. It was awesome. But what is it that you think of when you think of her being your favorite teacher? What really stands out?
They had their conversation about the curriculum and how they would like to do it based on like curiosity. And I think that curiosity created a sort of like bond between the students and Miss Crozen, and that just made it all seem like the whole classroom was like a bunch of friends trying to figure out a problem.
Comes down to relationships. And you'll find out throughout your career, your life, it's all about relationships, no matter what. So that was great. And thanks for bringing her up. They did an outstanding job last night.
Now we're back to you.
I think Mrs. Mulak.
I'm sorry, who was that?
I think Mrs. Mulak, my
Okay.
kindergarten teacher.
Oh, you're going way back.
Way back.
All the way to kindergarten. Awesome.
I think we have to ask you the question.
Who my favorite teacher of
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
time is.
Right, who is it?
Oh, without a doubt. And I'm going to say it falls into the category of educator, because my favorite teacher, educator of all time, is Mr. Joe Natoli. Mr. Joe Natoli was my middle school counselor. And the reason why I think of him when I think of who was my favorite educator or teacher, he had a huge impact on me. And he took an interest in me. He built a relationship with me. I wanted to do well in school simply because he would put on a breakfast for like the high honor roll. And school didn't always come easy to me. But because Mr. Natoli was doing that, I wanted to strive to be that and be part of that. And he also did a school golf tournament, and I had never played golf in my life, but because Mr. Natoli was doing it, I played golf. So I started golfing in 7th grade, and I still golf to this day. And none of that has to do with education, right? It's not about math or language arts or social studies. It comes back to relationships. And I think that's the most important thing you guys have probably learned, because you have outstanding role models and teachers and parents and community, but it comes down to relationships. So, but Mr. Yaniglos, how about you?
2nd grade teacher, Mrs. Leo. I don't know. She was just my favorite.
Yep,
I think I learned a lot from her. I mean, it was what kind of motivated me, I think, to enjoy school and to like school. My mom actually invited her to my high school graduation, and she came, and so I hadn't seen her in years. So it was like a good experience.
Yeah, it's nice to reconnect. I think you'll remember this on my very first day here at Brecksville Heights, on our opening day when the whole staff was here. I actually invited 5 educators that had come into my way along my journey that helped me become who I am. Mr. Natoli was one of them, and they were there in the audience that day. And
There's
I had
a
the
picture in
opportunity.
your office about
There
it
is. I
from
call
that
them my
day.
difference makers. You know, and like Alexa, I have a tough time just picking one.
Yeah.
You know, but I had 5 there that day that 3 of them I hadn't talked to in 30 years. And they dropped everything they were doing and came to opening day, and I was able just to honor them, because I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for those people. So thank you for sharing. Sorry to put you on the spot and make it a little pressure packed. Thank you for what you're doing. We wish you all the luck, and anything we can do to help you reach your goal of $75,000, we're there for you. So check out the high school website, check out the district website, get on Instagram, and help these wonderful young people reach their goal. So yeah, thanks a lot. All right, Craig, we're 6 episodes in. It'll be 7 next.
I know.
Pressure continues to build. All right, but
Tell all your friends. We're going to get a lot of views this time, right? Because
will.
you're going to get the whole student body to watch our podcast.
Perfect.
I love it.
That'll inflate our numbers.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, until next time.
Sounds good.
Catch you later.